Alright, Richard Van Tassel back with you, giving you the recap of the 4 o'clock block of games. Denver, 23 to nothing over the Jets. Jets all but eliminated now from the playoffs, if not mathematically, certainly by any realistic probability. Josh McCown was knocked out. Jets dropped to 5-8. Denver now 4-9. Josh McCown was knocked out of the game 6 for 12, 46 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Bryce Petty came into the game, and boy, did he look terrible. 2 of 9, 14 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Bilal Powell, top rusher, 13 of 35, 2.7 per rush. Matt Forte, 6 of 13, 2.2 per rush. 23 of 59, 2.6 per rush. Robbie Anderson, top receiver, 3 of 27. Matt Forte, 2 of 21. Lawrence Thomas, 1 of 7. Josh McCown lost the fumble. The team had 2 sacks. David Bass and Muhammad Wilkerson. No interceptions. JoJo Natson, a 27-yard kick return. 1 punt return for -1 yard by JoJo Natson. There were no field goals attempted by the Jets. For the Broncos, Trevor Siemian, 19 of 31, 200 yards, 1 touchdown, no interception. C.J. Anderson, 22 carries, 48 yards, 2.2 per rush. Devontae Booker, 9 of 22, 2.4. Trevor Siemian, 3 of 13, 4.3. The team, 35 of 84, 2.4 yards per rush. Demaryius Thomas, 8 receptions, 93 yards, 1 touchdown. Cody Lattimore, 2 of 37. C.J. Anderson, 2 of 25. Adam Gostis recovered a fumble. The team had 4 sacks. 1 team sack. Shelby Harris had 1. Von Miller and Brandon Marshall had the other 2. Darian Stewart, a 24-yard interception, no kick returns. 5 punt returns of 62 yards by Jordan Taylor. That's a 12.4 average, longest of 24, certainly ballooning the numbers up. Brandon McManus, 3 for 4 in his field goals. Jets really were poor in this game. Denver is a tough place to play. You lose your quarterback, but all in all, Bryce Petty came in and he showed nothing. That's certainly something that the Jets will look at moving forward, whether they're going to draft a quarterback or not, because obviously Josh McCown is not the guy who's going to be there for the future. Denver, their defense really came to play today. Again, the Jets' offense was a little limited. Trevor Siemian was solid, and you get the victory. When your quarterback plays much better than he has been, things happen the way they did today. Los Angeles Chargers impressively getting to 7-6 with a 30-13 victory over the Washington Redskins. Kirk Cousins for the Redskins, who dropped to 5-8. And then, as we said, Los Angeles 7-6. Kirk Cousins 15 of 27, 151 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Samaje Perine, top rusher, 17 carries, 45 yards, 2.6 per rush. LaShawn Daniels Jr. 2 of 14, 6 yards per rush. The team 21 of 65, 3.1 yards per rush. Josh Dotson, top receiver, 3 of 34. Jameson Crowder 3 of 34. Ryan Grant 1 of 28. Vernon Davis 2 of 26, the touchdown. No fumbles, 2 sacks, Matt Ioannidis and Anthony Lanier. Bashaud Breeland had a 96-yard interception return for a touchdown. The game was well over at that point. Bashaud Breeland had 4 kick returns for 88 yards. Byron Marshall, 1 of 22. Niles Paul, 1 of 18. The team 6 for 128, 21.3 on the return. Jamison Crowder, 3 punt returns for 15 yards. Nick Rose did not attempt a field goal. For the Chargers, Phillip Rivers continues to light it up. 18 of 31, 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Kellen Clemens did come in, throw 3 passes, complete 1 of them, and threw the interception to Bashaud Breeland. Melvin Gordon, 22 carries, 78 yards, 3.5 per rush, 1 touchdown. Austin Eckler, 4 of 49, 12.3. Andre Williams, 7 of 23, 3.3. The team, 35 of 174, 5 yards per rush. Tyrell Williams, 4 receptions, 132 yards, 1 touchdown. Keenan Allen, 6 for 111. Hunter Henry, 4 of 50, a touchdown. No fumbles. The team had 2 sacks, 1 split between Corey Liu and Melvin Ingram, and Desmond King had the other one. Kyle Emanuel had an interception, 23 yards. Desmond King, 1 kick return for 20 yards. Travis Benjamin, 2 of 49. Travis Coons, 3 of 3 in his field goals. Washington, look, they are a team that you don't really ever question their effort, and I'm not saying I question the effort in this one. This is a team, though, that is having a bad year simply because of injuries. And, they're a little devoid of talent. They're probably a talented enough team to be right on the cusp of the playoffs as they've been the past 2 years. You give them the injuries they've had this year, and this is what you're going to have the team fading towards the end. It's a real shame to see a team that has at least the potential to be in the run go down like this due to injuries the way they've had. For the Chargers, Phillip Rivers picking it up. Melvin Gordon has got to run a little better. I like Austin Eckler. He's a good runner. He's, to me, more of like that, Darren Sproles style, though. More of like the third down out of the backfield guy, get out in space type of guy. They need Melvin Gordon to be able to pick up the big yards. He was pretty effective today, did have the touchdown, but less than 4 yards per carry. They have a big game against the Chiefs coming up. Well, again, with the box scores here, Philadelphia beat the Los Angeles Rams 43-35. Philly is 11-2. They wrap the division up with this victory. Los Angeles drops to 9-4. Carson Wentz 25 of 41, 291 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was knocked out with a knee injury. We don't know what it is. I believe it was Aaron Andrews who's doing the sideline report, said that they came out shaking their head. I believe not, the horizontal shake of the head, which wasn't good. I don't know, though. There hasn't been a report. We'll have to see. Certainly, we saw the play. It was when he was diving into the end zone. Looked like there was definitely some buckle to the knee, so we'll keep an eye on that. Nick Foles came in, went 6 of 10 for 42 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Jai, 15 carries, 78 yards, 5.2. Corey Clement, 6 of 24, 4 yards per rush. Carson Wentz, 3 of 16, 5.3. The team 32 of 139, 4.3 yards per rush. They continue to run the ball very well. Torrey Smith, 6 receptions, 100 yards. Trey Burton, 5 of 71, 2 touchdowns. Nelson Aguilar, 8 of 64. Alshon Jeffrey, 5 of 52, a touchdown. Brent Selleck had a 5-yard touchdown. Brandon Graham, Rodney McLeod recovered fumbles. Nick Foles fumbled and recovered. There were 2 sacks, Chris Long and Patrick Robinson. No interceptions, no kick returns. Kenjon Barner, 3 punt returns, 11 yards. Jake Elliott, 3 for 3 in his field goals for the Rams. Jared Goff, 16 and 26, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Todd Gurley, 13 carries, 96 yards, 7.4 per rush, 2 touchdowns. Tavon Austin, 1 of 6. Malcolm Brown, 1 of 5. The team altogether 17 of 109, 6.4 yards per rush. Cooper Kupp, 5 receptions, 118 yards, 1 touchdown. Todd Gurley, 3 of 39. Sammy Watkins, 3 of 21, a touchdown. Tavon Austin lost a fumble. Jared Goff also lost a fumble. The team had 2 sacks. Michael Brockers and Robert Quinn. Kayvon Webster had an interception. Farrell Cooper, 2 kick returns, 46. Derek Carrier, 2 of 28. The team altogether 4 of 74, 18.5 in the returns. Farrell Cooper had a negative 3-yard punt return. Greg Zerline did not attempt a field goal. Obviously, we talked about Carson Wentz. Look, that's a big injury. We don't need to go into that. We don't know what the report is. Could be serious. Could be he's back by the playoffs. Could be he's back by next week. We really just don't know at this point. It didn't look season-ending, I should say. It was not going to be career-ending. And he actually played the next play, but we'll keep an eye on it. Usually, if you're done for the season, it's a season-ending injury. You're not going to be able to get up and go in for the next play. In this case, the Rams, they had a killer penalty in this game. Just a dumb play. I think it was Tavon Webster who got it. Might have been another guy. Taunting penalty. I don't like the taunting rule, but it's there. You got to know. And it was just a terrible penalty in this case. Really gave Philadelphia life. It ended up in a touchdown. Jared Goff did not play sensational. He didn't play that bad either. I felt they abandoned the running game just a bit, and they got like a blocked field goal for a touchdown. They had an interception early in this game. They had a lot of things that you would need to win this game, but dumb penalties like that really do you in. They were only down 1. They tried laterals at the end and resulted in a touchdown the other way. All right. Arizona beat the Tennessee Titans 12-7. It's saying 7-0 here, but let's hope the box score is as accurate as can be. Tennessee tough loss drops to 8-5. Arizona at 6-7. Excuse me, keeping whatever playoff hopes they have alive, still alive, I guess, with this win, but that's not likely at this point. Going a little Marco Rubio style there, I guess. Marcus Mariota, 16 of 31, 159 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. DeMarco Murray, 11 carries, 34 yards. Derrick Henry, that's 3.1 per rush. Derrick Henry, 8 of 22.5, a touchdown. The team, 22 of 65, 3 yards per rush, the 1 touchdown. Eric Decker, 3 of 56, receiving. Delaney Walker, 5 of 42. Corey Davis, 3 of 29. Rashad Matthews, 3 of 19. There were no fumbles. 8 sacks. Brian Rakpo had 1. Avery Williams, David King had 1. Eric Walden had 1. Jarrell Casey, 2. Wesley Woodyard and Jonathan Cyprian had 1. I'm not sure how... No, actually, I am sure how Tennessee lost this game. We'll talk about that at the end. No interceptions. Adoree Jackson, 2 kick returns, 55 yards. Longest of 29, average of 27.5. Pretty good. Adoree Jackson, 3 punt returns for 14 yards. Ryan Suckup missed a field goal for the Cardinals. Blaine Gabbert, 17 of 26, 178 yards, That's the average, never mind. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Kerwin Williams, 20 carries, 73, 3.7. Chad Williams, 1 of 33. Obviously, that's 33 yards per carry for you fantasy losers. Blaine Gabbert, 4 of 12. 3 yards per carry. The team, 29 of 136, 4.7 yards per rush. Larry Fitzgerald, 5 receptions, 44 yards. Jermaine Gresham, 2 of 27. J.J. Nelson, 2 of 26. Receiving, a team had 3 sacks. Olsen Perry, Hassan Reddick, and Chandler Jones. Josh Bynes, Tramon Williams had interceptions. No kicker punt returns. Phil Dawson 4 for 5 in his field goals. Arizona, bless their hearts, they are still competing for everything they have at this point. They're winning games with Blaine Gabbert. Injuries have really taken their toll on them, but they haven't folded in, and they're just doing everything possible. I would have liked to have seen what would have happened had Carson Palmer stayed healthy. This is a team that I thought coming into the year might have one last run in them, and certainly if he stayed healthy, they may be right on the brink. They are on the brink still technically, but maybe at 8-5 or somewhere around there, but they don't, and at this point it's not likely for them. Now Jacksonville won. We're going to do that game in a minute. A lot to talk about with that game. They dropped to 8-5. Marcus Mariota was pretty bad in this game. He's really got to pick up his play. Not just the interceptions. You were seeing some of the throws. It just did not look good. Did not look sharp. Not a lot of zip on it. He was floating some passes. Got to figure that out. And obviously when you don't run that ball that well, you're going to force Marcus Mariota to throw the ball. Seattle and Jacksonville. I'm not even sure how I want to discuss this game, whether I want to talk about what happened at the end now, or if I'm just going to do a separate video on it. I'll probably do a separate video on it. Let's just talk about the game for right now. For those of you who didn't see it, just complete shenanigans at the end. It got completely out of control, and a guy almost went into the crowd. Now the crowd was throwing beers at him. Frankly, I don't care, man. You can't go in because you just can't do it. Luckily, he couldn't get his fat ass over the wall. Otherwise, it would have been a disaster. But I'll probably have to talk about that on a separate issue. I want to see how big the story picks up. As for the game, Jacksonville is now 9-4. Seattle drops to 8-5. Russell Wilson 17 of 31, 271 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Mike Davis 15 carries, 66 yards, 4.4 per rush. Russell Wilson 5 of 50, 10 yards per rush. The team 24 of 141, 5.9 yards per rush. Tyler Lockett 4 receptions, 90 yards. Doug Baldwin 3 of 78. Paul Richardson 3 of 72. They all had touchdowns. Tedrick Thompson recovered a fumble. No sacks, no interceptions. Tyler Lockett 4 kick returns, 85 yards. Luke Wilson 1 of 16. Mark Glowinski had a kick return, but for no yards. Tyler Lockett 3 punt returns, 5 yards. Blair Welsh 1 for 2 in his field goals. For the Jaguars, Blake Bortles 18 of 27, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Leonard Fournette, 24 carries, 101 yards, 4.2 per rush, 1 touchdown. Chris Ivory, 6 of 48. The team, that's 8 yards per rush. The team, 39 of 156, 4 yards per rush, included 7 carries for -2 yards, and some of those kneel downs by Blake Bortles, so they ran the ball very well. Keelan Cole, 3 receptions, 99 yards, 1 touchdown. D.D. Westbrook, 5 of 81, 1 touchdown. Marquise Lee, 5 of 65. Corey Grant lost the fumble. The team had 2 sacks. Yannick Ngakoue, I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, and he's having a good year because I'm saying his name every week now, and I probably should learn it. And Malik Jackson had the other. A.J. Boy, 2 interceptions. Jalen Ramsey, 1. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Corey Grant, 2 kick returns, 37 yards. Jaden Mickens, 1 for 20 yards. Jaden Mickens, 3 punt returns, 72 yards. Josh Lambo, 3 for 3 in his field goals. Again, forget what happened at the end, just talking about the game. Seattle was pretty much manhandled in this game, to be honest with you. Jacksonville, look, their secondary played very well. Boy and Ramsey, they got a little lax at the end here. They were up 24-10. Gave up a big touchdown, went down and got some points, and then gave up another big touchdown. So, all in all, Jacksonville, I think, played very well. They almost pulled the Jacksonville Jaguars at the end. They've got to certainly clean up those areas and not just rest on their laurels and, get too overconfident, because they were handling Seattle and they let things go. Blake Bortles had some nice passes in this game. Leonard Fournette was effective. And like I said, that's why I expected Jacksonville to win this game. When you have those secondary guys and you're basically just focusing everyone else on Russell Wilson, it becomes very difficult on him. So hats off to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and stay tuned. We'll probably do some sort of reaction. I want to see the talking points. I was watching some of it on ESPN before I came on, of what people are saying about it. You have my opinion. You can't go into the crowd under any circumstance. All right, so when the Sunday night game goes final, either tonight or tomorrow morning, we will give you the recap of that. Be sure to stay tuned, and remember, of course, we appreciate all subscriptions as well. So enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you next time. Have a good one, folks. And also remember, we got the weekly NBA report and the Monday night preview tomorrow morning as well. We'll definitely have those tomorrow morning. The Sunday night recap will either come tonight or tomorrow morning. So stay tuned for that. And we thank you all, and we will see you next time. Have a good night.